Welcome back to Office Administration. We're still continue travel arrangement. This is part 4 of travel arrangement. Today we're going to outline procedures for making travel arrangement. So there are various procedures that we have to or which will be useful for us to follow as assistant or secretary when making travel arrangement. So let's get into these useful procedures. One of the responsibility of a secretary or office assistant is that of making travel arrangement for the member of staff. So the travel arrangements are normally made by the secretary or the office assistant. It's his or her responsibility to obtain the best transport and accommodation possible within the limits of a budget. So many times you will have to work within a budget, and keep it within a budget will be very good for you and the business, because you don't want to overspend and go over a limit, which it might cause some financial problems. So a good secretary or assistant, they normally get work within a budget or can work within a budget. Procedures for travel arrangement. First one is before date of travel. So we need to find out from our boss or the person that is traveling which or what date do they prefer to travel. And the next point is preferred time of travel. So we need to know not just only the date when they is willing to travel, but the time they're willing to travel, whether it's daytime or nighttime. Selecting the appropriate carrier for the destination. Now, the carrier service or the carrier organization is basically the travel service or the travel agent that you're going to use. Different travel agents, they have various different packages, which in they have discounts or they have different items that make them unique about themselves. And depending upon your budget or what your person, the boss or the client want, you will select a career organization or travel agent that fills that fulfills that requirement. A certain health and visa requirement. So when making travel arrangements, you need to get all your visa or a travel document and health requirement that is required to travel. Some country they may have very specific travel document or health regulation that you need to have. So you as a travel the office assistant need to know or have knowledge of these stuff, so you'll be able to tell the person or to help the aid that person in getting these documents ready. Restriction for entering destination. Now when you're traveling abroad or to a different area, there are certain restriction that that area is specific to that area or country. So we need to know what are the restrictions and what are the things that the person cannot travel with or so forth. So we need to have knowledge and inform the person who's traveling what are the local or the international restrictions. Alternative travel routes and costs. Now, a good secretary or office assistant will have alternative routes and costs, it just in case of an emergency come on board, that flight is cancelled or some natural disaster occur and there's just no way to use the travel agent anymore, but they will plan ahead to have alternative routes where the person can travel out of the country or travel to an area and budget, put aside some money in the budget for extra costs that may occur. So just don't have one way of traveling. If possible, you have a backup plan. Other services such as accommodation, travel, tours that may be made. So the assistant or the secretary need to make accommodation or hotel reservations, have tour guides or maps given to the person who's traveling, so that that it would be easier for them. They won't have to go and get all of these information or go and look for a place to have accommodation. When they reach in the country, they just go and do their business. So That's basically the procedures for making travel arrangement. You can listen to the video once again or how much time that you need, but you guys need to memorize or to know, be familiar with the basics of making travel arrangements. See you in the next video.